and I have decided not to use the computer. I'll just stick to my little phone, and hopefully this will cooperate. Better? Okay. Well, I was born 73 years ago in India. The house I lived in or brought up initially was about 100 years older at that time. We had no refrigeration, no air conditioning, no TV, no car, of course, no radio. And of all the things, no toilet, flush toilet. Think about living in 20 with 25 people in a house with two toilets, and somebody had to come every morning to pick up the crap and take it. That house, the lane was about 10 feet wide to get to the house. And we used to play cricket there in summer, because it was always shady. And we were very disappointed. I was about 8 or 9. We were very disappointed that they started to dig that lane in order to put sewage pipe. And, and we had to walk around all this mud, that they had dug through. But at least we had flush after that, in the house. Yeah, it was worth not playing cricket for some time there. Well, I obviously it was hard time for me, but I learned to study hard and get on and read a lot. I used to read a lot, and I still remember. I'm going to mention a couple of books, couple of events that changed my life or brought change. One book, I was probably in 10th grade at that time, that influenced me a lot was Bertrand Russell's Why I'm Not a Christian. Many of you may have read that. I read it when I was in 10th grade. I was brought up in a family, very, very religious family. My father was very religious. My mother was very religious. And they had very different views on what divinity meant, what truth was. My mother believed in idol worship. She spent an hour every day, in front of a little temple she had in the house, and cleaning up the idols and decorating them every day and doing the worship, what we call puja. My father didn't believe in all that. He said, no, I'm not going to sit there. And he believed in fire worship. And as a kid, I had to, participate in both. I had to, when a priest came in the house to preside on the idols and some, I had to be the one, because my father refused to do that. And when my father did fire worship, I had to be there. So I was quite confused. And what is reality? What is the truth? And this book by Bertrand Russell gave me that confidence in asking those uneasy questions, not only from others, but even for myself. What is the truth? And that time and today, or along life, I've been wanting to know what the truth is. I went to in college. Another book that changed me was a friend of mine introduced me to J. Krishnamurti. I don't know how many of you know. He was from India, but he spent most of his life in the United States, and he lived in O'Hare, California, most of his life, and he died there actually. His book, here the most important, I read almost all of his books, but the most important book that influenced me was Freedom from the Known. And basically what he's saying is that we should free ourselves from all these traditions, all these scriptures and everything. And I read that and I said, I was about 20 when I read that. And I said, I don't even know what the known is. So I decided to know the known before freeing myself from it, you know. And I started reading scriptures. Okay. I read a lot of Hindu scripture. And as I see, I have not only read Hindu scriptures, but I've read Bible, parts of Quran, parts of Avesta from Zoroastrian, and to me, reading them has been like going to a museum. When you go to a museum and let's say you look at a beautiful picture, you don't find truth in it. You appreciate it. So I don't think any of the scriptures have any truth. I've read quite a bit. I'm quite knowledgeable. I don't think there's any truth, but I admire that. I admire the wisdom that our ancestors had at that time. Low technology, not much knowledge, but there's a lot of wisdom. I still read, especially some of the Hindu scriptures, not believing in anything. I mean, I think that I haven't believed in belief, the process of belief, since I was 18. And I never talked to my parents about it. They were so religious. I didn't want to hurt them. But all my friends knew that I don't believe in belief, and my family knows that. Anyway, I came to US about 51 years ago. And I've lived here. I've lived in, first I came to Berkeley to study. And after Berkeley, I went to New York, my first job in American Express. I, in one way, I have lived a dual type of life. What that means is that I have been in a corporate world. I've made decent amount of money, rose up the rank, have had decent jobs, but privately, I was always looking for these, truth to reading scriptures and all that. And one person that influenced me a lot was Rajneesh. I don't know how many of you probably know, the Oregonians know. And he was one of the most controversial figure in Oregon, right? So taking aside the negative, if they had negative, let's forget about negatives. But I admired the person. I admired for his thought. I admired for his knowledge and wisdom. And to describe what I got out of his philosophy, his thinking was in 3 words: Zorba the Buddha. Okay, 3 words. Now, what does that mean? Everybody probably, I mean, it's a long, old movie, Zorba the Greek. You remember that? Okay, think about Zorba's life. He was a flamboyant, enjoying life, fun-loving guy. And Rajneesh said, your external life should be like that. Be like a Zorba. But inwards, be a Buddha. And what does that mean? That means you be conscious of what you're doing, okay? Knowing yourself, being conscious of yourself. And that to me is, I define my life that way. That, okay, I want to be in the world. I want to make good money. I want to live well. But I also want to know the truth. What's the truth out there, okay? And it's been a journey. Along the way, my wife is here, Nutan. Nutan and I, we got married 44 years ago. And we've raised 2 responsible, smart sons. My oldest son is is a nephrologist, a medical nephrologist at OHSU. He lives in Lake Oswego, and my younger son, sitting right there, is Manish. He's a professor of political science at Wellesley College in Massachusetts. And we also have 3 grandkids. He has a 1-year-old son. That's he's visiting us from Massachusetts for a couple of days. We have the Diwali. We have Diwali tomorrow. Is the biggest festival that Hindus celebrate, and he's come for that. And so I think I've covered mostly.
Except your name.
My name is Harsh Arora. Sorry, I forgot my name. I've been trying to know myself for a long time. and now finally I know my name. So my journey, just to reiterate, I mean, there are 3 aspects. Okay, art is the first way. And art means literature, scriptures to me, music, etc. And I've spent time in that. The second is religion. To me, religion means meditation. Okay, I'm a fairly accomplished meditator. I have participated in meditation retreats for Hindus, meditation technique, Buddhist meditation technique, and even Muslim meditation, the Sufis meditation technique. And I've spent times, few days in each of them. And the third part has been philosophy. I have great admiration for Western and Indian philosophical system. The Western philosophy, as you all know, but I've read quite a bit, but Indian philosophy, just to give you a perspective, there is no equivalent word for philosophy in our language. The closest word that comes to is darshan. Now, what darshan means is the root word for darshan is sight. Okay, so as philosophy on the Western world is about, a love for wisdom, that's what the word philosophy means. In India, the word for philosophy comes from sight, or in other words, experience. So we do not learn from reading books or reading, but we learn from experience. That's the fundamental difference in the we have 6 very well defined darshans, and I have read and practiced those darshans. There are ways to look at the world, and experience the world, that's available for people today. So having said all that, I finally realized that I failed in my quest to find the truth. I have realized that the reality out there is too complex for us to understand. All we get is information from the world, and we create truth for ourselves. Okay. So we are not seekers of truth, we are creators of truth in our own words, in our own world. And like everybody else, I have created my own truth, and there's nothing to seek. It's all about creating. What type of truth? All of you and everybody in the world has created their truth, and they live that, and they think that they know the reality. We don't. And we'll never know the reality. And that's